Hey folks, my name is Brianna and today I'll be talking about Hiroshi Sugimoto. So who is this Hiroshi Sugimoto? Well, he is a contemporary photographer who practices in exploring memory and time in his photography. He was born on February 23rd, 1948 in Tokyo, Japan. He graduated with a degree in sociology and politics from Yukio University in 1970. He then went to receive his BFA in photography from the Art Center College of Design in Los Angeles before moving to New York in the mid-1970s, to where he now divides his time between Tokyo and New York City. His photographs are actually in the collection of prominent museums around the world, including the Metropolitan Museum of Art in New York, Museum of Modern Art in New York, National Gallery of Art in Washington, D.C., and many others. So the way Sugimoto describes photography is like a found object. He believes that a photographer never makes an actual subject, but instead they distill the image from the world. So then in turn, photography is like a system of saving memories. For example, like a time machine, where it preserves the memory and it preserves time, which is what he shows in his work as an expression of time exposed. His work also focuses on transience of life and the conflict between life and death. Now, Sugimoto has gained a reputation as a photographer of the highest technical ability through his use of using an 8x10 large format camera and extremely long exposures, in which he uses to show how the medium can both obscure and alter reality. And what a better example to show that than his first series, Dioramas. He initially started taking the photos at the American Museum of Natural History, and the story behind this is that when he first arrived in New York, one of the first places he visited was this museum. And as he was standing there looking at these stuffed animals displayed in front of their painted backdrops, they looked fake to him. But then he took a quick peek with one eye closed, all perspective gone, and they started to look real. According to him, he had found a way to see the world as a camera does. Each photo tricks many viewers into assuming the animals in the photos are real until they are examined closely enough. The same concept also ties into another one of his series called Portraits. In this series, he is taking photographs of the most realistic wax figures using 8x10-inch negatives against a black background. And while taking these photos, he attempts to recreate the lighting that would have been used by the painter in the 16th century. So here he is substituting photography for painting. And the way he puts it, if this photograph now appears lifelike to you, you should reconsider what it means to be alive here and now. Another one of his series is called Theaters, and in this series, he photographs old American movie palaces and drive-ins. Now, the thought process and idea behind this whole series is that he was actually at the American Museum of Natural History, when he said a near hallucinatory vision to himself, followed by a question and answer session where he asked, "Suppose you shoot a whole movie in a single frame," and then his answer was, "You get a shining screen." So then with the 4x5 camera and tripod, he set it up so that at the start of the movie, he fixed the shutter at a wide open aperture, and then 2 hours later or so, when it's finished, he clicks the shutter closed. So what he got were pictures like these, where the film projector provided the sole lighting, and while the architectural details in the seats of the theater are the only things owing to the long exposure of each photograph. While the unique lighting gives the work a surreal look, Sugimoto tries to show us time in photography with these long exposures of movies. Through his work, he discovered that different movies give off different brightnesses. If it's an optimistic story, then it will usually end up with a brighter screen compared to a sad story that will have a darker screen. And then any darker, you're probably looking at an occult movie. But what I especially like about this series and what draws me towards it is the mysterious feel behind it. Like, I want to know the story in the photo, what was happening during this whole time the shutter was open, and I love the ambience feel of the projector being the only light source. Now, another series he did that I personally like as well is his Seascape series. So as you can see in the series, he is taking a photograph of the sea and its horizon is of various locations, and puts the horizon line right in the middle, splitting the photograph in half by the horizon line. He did this by using a large format camera to make exposures of various durations only up to 3 hours. All the photographs are exactly the same size, and the locations range from the English Channel and the cliffs of Moher to the Arctic Ocean, from Positano, Italy to the Tasman Sea, and from the Norwegian Sea at the Vesterland to the Black Sea in Turkey. And the only thing about this series is that you see water and air in here, and pretty much all around you, you see water and air, which is nothing out of the ordinary, but yet they grant our very existence. It's crazy to think that there is a planet, at least one that is known to us in the vast reaches of this universe, that is exactly the right distance from the sun, where water and air are generated in the presence of light. Right before us is the mystery of mysteries, water and air. So every time Sugimoto views the sea, he feels a common sensation of security, and the way he describes it is as if he is visiting his ancestral home. He embarks on a voyage of seeing. And honestly, I feel the same. Every time I view these photos or actually look out into the sea, I feel this calming sensation. Thank you.